So, how you doing? This is Proto Pines, and welcome to my closet. Today, we're going to be talking about Lauren Chen. You all know who Lauren Chen is. If you don't, you can Google it. You can watch her. She was actually indicted, or I would say arrested, or she was part of the how like the Biden administration was out to get people who are working with Russia to overthrow the government conspiracy and all of that. So apparently Lauren Chen was in the middle of it. Actually, they found that she was working or she was contacted by RT. I'm not gonna go through all of that thing, but apparently, they disabled her YouTube. They threatened her and everything like that. So she is now finally breaking her silence, and hopefully we can get all this, put this to rest, that she can also get the help that she needs, because when you are the target of the government, they're gonna drain you. That's what happened to a lot of these folks that speaking up. um, the government has found a way to to silence you. And in this case, with Biden administrations back in 2004, they were out to get everyone, you know, including her, because she was on TP USA, I think, Turnpoint USA. Uh, and I used to follow her on YouTube, and all of a sudden, all her stuff and videos got taken down. So anyway, so now she said she's finally speaking up and breaking her silence as her kids. So I'm gonna read this through real quick so you don't get bored, but you can follow her. I mean, a lot of people doing all these videos regarding her, so you can also find out. But I'm gonna read this through you real quick. This is actually today. Well, no, not today. This is 7/4. 2 months ago, the statement. She said, "This past year has brought trials I never imagined possible. There is so much I have to say now, but for now, I will do my best to answer questions. I know many of you have been wondering what the heck happened. I mean, I already knew what happened, I already knew what happened. So this is on September 4th, 2024, 2 months before the general elections. My husband, 2-year-old, and I were awoken early in the morning by 30 armed FBI agents. 30 FBI agents. This is what happened when, Biden's FBI's. And they about to break down our door. At the time, I was entering my 4th month of pregnancy. Ooh, a pregnant woman. FBI, come on. The FBI spent the next hours searching our house, interrogating us about the company, the tenant, which licensed mostly right-leaning, there's the key word, conservative content. They took all the electronics and seized our assets. So this included our life savings and revenue that had nothing to do with tenant, such as payments from contracts with the Blaze and TPUSA. Yep, that same day when Attorney General Merrick Garland, that guy is a piece of whatever, published a press release which essentially labeled Tenet a Russian propaganda operation intent of subverting American elections. The Department of Justice also unsealed an indictment on 2 Russian individuals that work in conjunction with our company, but were not in the U.S. custody or even in the country. This lengthy indictment of these individuals was largely focused on Tenet, though most of the information provided was false, inaccurate, or out of context. So that's all coming to light now because, fortunately, we have taken over. We have President Trump's the president. We have the new DOJ. We have new FBI director. We have all of that. And hopefully they can all look into this and see what they can do to help her. You know what I mean? So there were also claims made concerning issues outside of our knowledge that we regard those allegations with extreme skepticism. Okay, I'm reading right over here. So Garland painted Tenet as a covert Russian propaganda mouthpiece and our conservative leading talent as unwitting propagandist. The implication, and that's quote unquote, the implication was that Russian government was astroturfing support for President Donald Trump in an upcoming election, and that this is conservative and right-wing supporters online and independent media were merely behind him because they were paid to be. This notion was categorically untrue. So she went on, to be clear, my own commentary has never been shaded by an outside parties, despite working with several different companies during my time on social media. Furthermore, as a company, Tenet offered total editorial freedom to our creators. We never force or advise our creators to push certain agendas, nor were we ever told to do so by any third party. In fact, we often did not see the content of our creators published directly to our platform until it went live. We encourage these creators to do what they do best, speak their minds boldly. To suggest that their earnest opinions are tantamount to Russian propaganda is not only dishonest, but besmirring of views commonly shared by the huge swath of Americans. In any case, due to the political nature of Garland's press release, our stories quickly made international headlines. And we were falsely labeled spies, propagandists, and even traitors. So we wanted to set the record straight, but it immediately became apparent that any attempts to challenge the Biden DOJ resulted in threats of arrest, charges, and potentially prison. And so, out of fear of being separated from our children and under the advice of counsel, we chose to remain silent until we could be sure that speaking out would not result in further judicial or extrajudicial punishment. Though we were never any criminal charges, much less conviction, due to this widely published investigation, and all the professional contracts were promptly dropped. We were deplatformed from YouTube, TikTok, Discord, and Google. We and even some of the family members were debanked by several financial institutions. We were forced to move due to death threats. Our work-based immigration visa, which was torpedoed by the actions against our company, was not renewed. So the Canadian government also seemed to have opened their own investigation into following the highly publicized American case, and of course we quickly amassed legal fees with into six figures. Oh my goodness. In March of this year, due to high blood pressure caused by chronic stress, I was induced to deliver our daughter. Despite the circumstances surrounding the pregnancy, she is happy and healthy baby and has been the light of our lives during these difficulties. Thanks be to God. Thanks be to God. I would say that too. Thanks be to God. So in April, the U.S. Attorney Office of Southern District of New York informed our lawyer that the investigation into us and our company had finally been closed. This news provided us with some relief, but it soon became clear that although we weren't criminals, the SDNY had no interest in restoring us to where we were before the investigation began, though they could easily do so. Right. So there would be no similar press release absolving us in a very public and very serious allegation that had been made against us. There would be no help clearing our names with the Canadian government. They would not restore our visa status, and predictably, despite the lack of charges or convictions, our financial assets or all our savings will not be returned. That is ridiculous. That is makes my blood boil. Oh my goodness. So we have lived humbly this past year, both due financial woes and public vilifications. We have had very little certainty about what our future as a family would look like. Because of my American visa was contingent upon our company, we had no choice but to leave our home and children's place of birth. We are doing everything in the power to get the new visa and return home. I'm hoping that you would. Sadly, we also lost some people who were believed to our friends, but more notably, we were blessed to have quite a number of our colleagues reach out with words of support. Some even published videos and posts in our defense. I'm humbled to say that there are too many to think individually. We have also received many kind messages from our audience during this time, and I cannot thank you enough or your message of support, which have continued to come even though I have been gone from public life for a year now. Never failed to bring tears to my eyes. So no criminal charges were ever actually brought against myself, my husband, or our company. The legal investigation has been quietly closed. Despite this, the road ahead of us is fraught with difficulty and uncertainty. I wish this ordeal was over, but our struggles continue as we fight to correct the many ways that our lives were appended. To that end, as some of you have kindly suggested and offered, we are now seeking help to cover our still growing legal fees and our effort to return home. Any support is really appreciated, and we look forward to back and getting back content creation our lives soon. Thank you. Now, all right, so this is Lauren Chen. Help her out whenever you can, and hopefully they can get everything back together. And hopefully get their YouTube back. Hopefully, Trump administration can help them in ways possible, like getting their visa restored or anything like that. Move out of Canada, Lauren. Get out of Canada. Just the Canada's a mess, So hopefully everything will work out. I'll be praying for you guys. So, and looking forward to your content, and talk to you soon.